Hi guys, I'm Clinton from the Barbecue Pit Stop. Today I'm going to show you a great delicious white turkey chili recipe that you're going to use with your leftover turkey from Thanksgiving. Now we've already smoked this turkey, so it's just the leftover stuff. We're going to show you a real quick, easy recipe. It should take you between 30 and 45 minutes to get it done. First thing we're going to do is we're going to start cooking on the flat rock today. We wanted to cook outside. You could do this inside if you want, but we wanted it outside. It was such a beautiful day that we wanted to show you what you could do, how versatile this griddle is, and some additional things that you could do on it. First thing we're going to start with is a pot, and we have our temperature just in the middle set to high. We're going to start our chili with about 2 tablespoons full of butter. We're going to put it in here and we're going to get that melted down. Once this butter gets melted down, we're going to add one of my favorite ingredients, which is onions. I think onions are kind of not used enough in barbecue. All right, once that butter is nice and melted, we're going to add 1 full yellow onion. This is going to be coarsely chopped. You don't want it fine chopped. You don't want it rendered down all the way, just coarsely chopped. I'm going to put all of that in there. It ends up being a little over 1.5 cups of onion. If you don't like onion as much as I do, you only need 1 cup of onion, but I like me some onion in my chili. You can also use the onion as a garnish, so it doesn't necessarily have to be in this first stage. First thing we're going to do with the onion is get it nice and stirred up so that that butter gets all over it. And we're going to caramelize the onion. This should take about 5 minutes. And take a look at that. Got a little bit of turkey in there. So my onions have been sauteing for about 5-6 minutes. It's time to add a couple of cloves of minced garlic. I'm using some pre-minced garlic already, and I'm going to do about 2 tablespoons, ends up being about 3 to 4 garlic cloves. And we're going to let this meld together for about another 3 or 4 minutes before we start adding any other ingredients. Now that this garlic and onion has been sauteing here together for about 5 minutes, we're going to add the rest of the ingredients to this chili. We'll start with the rest being the chicken stock, and you want about 2 cups. This has 3 cups in it. You just eyeball. That's a good amount. Then you add some diced green chilies. I like the hot ones. This is a chili after all, and if people don't like the heat that's on it, you can get the mild, but I like the hot ones. You just do 1 full can, it's 4 ounces. Then you do 2 cans of the Great Northern beans and 1 can of sweet corn. All that's gonna go in together. Make sure that you strain the beans and the corn, and you give them a good rinse before that goes into the chili. Finally, we're going to start doing our herbs. We're going to start with some ground oregano. We're going to use about 1 teaspoon. Then 1 tablespoon of the All-Star. We want to stick with the same flavors that we had when smoking the turkey. So you do, we're going to do 2 tablespoons of the All-Star. And then 1 tablespoon of the chicken star. There you go, that's pretty good. Finally, 1 tablespoon of salt. We're using the AM salt. We really like this. It's got a couple other little ingredients in it. We like that it melts in with everything pretty quickly. And people think that that's a lot of salt. Trust me, you're gonna need it with this chili. About 1 tablespoon of salt. And then we're gonna mix it all in. We wanna bring it to another boil before we reduce it down to simmer. We'll let this get to a boil, then we'll add the turkey. Getting this up to a boil, it takes a good minute, so don't get scared if it's taking a little while. Once it's boiling and all of these flavors are mixing together, then we'll add our turkey and let it simmer for about 30 minutes. Now that we have this boiling pretty good, we're going to then add our turkey, and we just shredded it. It's going to be about 2 cups, somewhere between 2 and 3 cups. It's to whatever you want. I like a lot of turkey in mine, so I did closer to 2, well, 2.5, 3. I'm going to put this turkey in, and then we're going to reduce our heat down to simmer for about 30 minutes. Give it a good stir, make sure it's all down in there. Oh, it's starting to smell good. All right, reducing our heat to a simmer heat on this flat rock. It's going to be somewhere between medium and high, just over medium. And we'll just let it simmer for about 30 minutes. Now that our chili has been simmering for about 30 minutes, we're going to add the last 2 ingredients. We're going to add half a block of cream cheese. Now you want it softened, so we just left it out while this chili was simmering. And what you're going to do is just kind of break it up a little bit, add in a couple of pieces. You could chop it up if you want, but doing it this way, putting it in as little chunks here and there, allows it to melt and to meld into the chili a little bit quicker, a little bit better, instead of having these big chunks that are just going to be floating around all over the place. So you add that in, and then the last ingredient is half a cup of pepper jack cheese. Now I'm just eyeballing this. This package here was 1 full cup, and I've already used about half of it. So just add in the other half, kind of start mixing it, and then let this sit here and simmer, mixing about every 2 or 3 minutes for about the next 10 minutes. Well, it's been about 10 minutes. This is the final stir. You could see that the cream cheese and that the pepper jack cheese has melted into it. Some people like it to sit for a little bit and cool down. That's not how we're gonna do it here. We're gonna grab a bowl and a ladle, and we're gonna do my favorite part, which is testing this out. Now comes the moment of truth. It smells great, it looks great. I'm excited to try this. I feel bad that you guys don't get to try any products that we do. Ooh, it's a little warm. It's a little hot. Probably should have let it sit for a minute. Everything's going to taste like rubber for the next couple of days, but worth it. Maybe cool this one off just a little bit. Ooh, it's got a little heat on the back end. That's pretty dang good. All right, one more bite. We can garnish it with a couple of things. I think a little bit of sour cream on here would be delicious. Ooh, I'm hungry. I'm gonna have another one in front of you. But this is gonna be a great recipe. You saw it's not too difficult, but it'll be a great one to use those leftover scraps of turkey that you have. I used all breast meat. You could use the thighs on this. You could use that dark meat. I think that would add just a little bit more flavor to this. Not that it needs it. It's pretty dang good. I'm gonna eat this whole bowl in front of you.